Hey YouTube, what's going on? Few things in life allow us to re-examine the content. And there's a lot of things in life we take for granted that they are just what they are. But the world around us is a lot more mysterious in a lot of ways. And not mysterious in ways that we can't understand it. It's just going against the mainstream viewpoint sometimes of how things really are. And so sometimes we have to just change our perspective to see things a little more clearly and as they are. I've been reading some things from Earl Nightingale. And if you're not familiar with him, he was a radio host many decades ago. I believe he died in like 1989. And he has a whole host of self development types of books and audio that he produced over his life. And he was kind of at the time like a self help guru. And I just thought maybe I'd bring up a few things that he spoke of and things I've read recently. He has this thing called The Secret of Success. And it's not the same kind of secret, quote unquote, that we recently had an encounter with that was a distortion of this fact. And this is more of a grounded type of approach, but it does require common sense and parameters, just like anything else. We have laws of nature that surround us, and so we have to be mindful that being realistic is also part of this equation. But that doesn't mean that we should limit ourselves. It just means that we should be mindful that if we want certain types of success, we're going to actually have to have that much more in terms of larger success, that much more that we have to influence than smaller success. So let's go ahead and look at some of the things that Earl Nightingale said. So Earl talked about success a lot, and he said that success is a progressive realization of a worthy idea, and that it's purposefully doing an action to create happiness or purpose predeterminedly. So when we look at success, the biggest enemy of it is conformity, the biggest problem by far, because exterior driven people are influenced by their environment and not from the drive from within, their goals, or the things that would actually better themselves. Earl talked a lot about having goals, and I totally agree. If you do not have a direction in your life, if you do not have something that you're working on, it's really hard to get things finished and to know if you're accomplished or not. Now, there's a lot of people who do this maybe subconsciously. They have a certain goal or focus, and that is very good. But it's even better if you're more conscious of it. So this is what Earl talked about when he talked about goals. We become what we think about. Now, there's more to it than this. We don't just manifest things just because we're thinking of it. But it is the first step for success. Believe in yourself, he says, on positive terms of outlook. The mind returns what you put into it. Visualize yourself achieving your goal. Experience your goal. Habitual thinking is where we want to be when we try to manifest and we create the reality from what we have in our head. But we do need to be mindful of what type of habitual thinking we have. It can be positive or negative. And this can be a double-edged sword. We definitely want to be on the more positive side because this is where the positive reinforcement, the strengthening of our thoughts will help generate that energy and the focus to accomplish our goals. Earl goes on to talk about we are guided by our minds. We are the sum of our thinking. We must control our thinking because it will control us, or we will allow other people to control us if we don't allow ourselves to control our thinking. And so he goes on and he recommends a small test or an experiment to help you get going. He says to begin, for 30 days, you must create a new habit. You must pay the price to get the results we want. So this is the next part of achieving your goal. First, you must visualize yourself achieving your goal and establish what that goal is. And believe in yourself, become what you think about. And this second part, though, we must pay the price. We must do the work in essence. The level we get back is dependent on how much we give. In other words, how much we work toward. Because nothing in life is really free, you know. Now, there are some things that are just inherent when we're born. We have parents, or we have certain freedoms because we live in certain countries. And there are those kind of things that are apparently free, and they are. We do take for granted a lot of those, and those do have value. But in terms of the things that we have to create that aren't there, we do have to pay the price and work. And it is very much worth the toll. So Earl talks about limitations are self-imposed. But what we need to really focus on is to set defined goals in a positive effort. You are what you think about. Open your imagination. Think about your goals every day, he says. He says, save 10% of what you earn. And he says, put these goals and the means to accomplish the goals into action. Earl says, look at purpose and faith as if it was impossible to fail. Proceed with vigor and strength with persistence. And that's what really faith is. It's an act of persistence. And this is what you want to do with your achievement of goals. You want to be full of faith, full of persistence, and not surrender to the alternative. Because in your mind, there is no alternative. You will succeed. What is it that you really want? Write it down on an index card. Look at it several times a day and make it clear, detailed, and something that will motivate you to get out of bed each day. Look at the abundance in the world. Know you have a right to it just as others do. The goal should be something that you can live for, something that is going to stir passion within you. Worry brings fear, so hold your goals close at hand. Stop fearing and replace fear with your positive goal. Remember, and write this on the back of your index card that contains your goal. Ask, and it shall be given to you. Seek, and you shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened to you.